In space, Abigail Brand monitors the monsters falling towards Earth. She contacts Carol Danvers. Unlike other monsters which have been slowing down as they approach Earth, one is picking up speed. It's dangerous, a world killer. Luckily, Captain Marvel and Alpha Flight are able to divert the monster away from Earth. With that, Carol needs to contact the Avengers. The job isn't done yet, and the planet is about to face a whole lot of more trouble. In Portland, Oregon, the Avengers have taken down yet another monster. They still have no idea what is happening, but the Vision has calculated there's a monster attack happening on Earth every 15 to 20 minutes. Black Panther reports in that they've taken care of the monsters in Wakanda and it's currently stable, but before they can move out and help the rest of the world, they are attacked once again. Using Parker Tech drone spider cameras, Sam calls out to the rest of the world's heroes and gets a status report. Alpha Flight keeps knocking the creatures back in space, but there are way too many to stop them all. Storm has called in every mutant they know, from Magneto's people to the Hellfire Club, while the Guardians of the Galaxy are struggling and need reinforcements. Vision sends Thor to help Star-Lord, while Phil Coulson dispatches some S.H.I.E.L.D. agents armed with PIM particles to help with the cleanup in Oregon. While the Inhumans move into Rome to help the city out with 2 attacking monsters, Sam says the world is watching them. The heroes must be focused and work together. This will mean something to the public. Yet they won't be able to keep this up forever. They need to find the source of these monsters before it is too late. In New York, Moon Girl notes that each monster so far has been unique. They seem to be able to communicate with each other and work together, so the young girl begins to try to decipher the monster noises to see if there's some meaning to them. With some effort, she actually manages to succeed at understanding some of these monsters. They talk of a tribute and preparing the world for their ruler. This alarms Moon Girl, as it means something worse is on the way. In Chicago, Elsa Bloodstone looks over some wounded people. With her mystical resources, it is a simple matter to hop around the world and investigate these monster attacks. They have led her here, where she spies a drawing, with a symbol on it matching the premonition in the cave she saw earlier. And with that symbol, she is able to find an associated name: K. Kuwait. The young man is currently being admonished by his parents for leaving the house last night. He apologizes, saying he got frightened and needed to talk to some friends. Kay's parents are understanding and glad he is making friends in this new town, but insist that he understand the importance of family and the need for them to stick together. As the boy runs off to continue drawing, his mother says it is good they haven't unpacked all their boxes. It's happening all over again. Kay's father disagrees. Whatever is going on, this is much, much worse than before.
I am Groot!
In San Diego, the Guardians struggle against 2 monsters, when Thor appears and knocks them down. Another monster emerges from the water, but Thor moves in without hesitation. With a mighty blow, she knocks the 3rd beast out cold. The Guardians are thankful. It's been 48 hours since the first Earthfall, and the heroes are running out of energy. Thor says they can't stay here long and will be needed elsewhere, but Drax replies she probably won't be leaving anytime soon. The heroes watch as a storm of meteors fall outside of the city. The monsters will no doubt be heading this way to the nearest population center, so Peter Quill turns to a spider camp. If anyone out there is watching, they're gonna need some help. In Springfield, Cade draws his toughest monster yet. Nobody will want to mess with this one, not if they know what is good for them. He'll need someone like this to protect something of his, but before he can finish the drawing, he is approached by Elsa Bloodstone. The young man recognizes her from a comic, but doesn't understand why she is here. Meanwhile, the monsters move in and the Guardians begin to fight. Luckily for them, help is on the way. Heroes of all stripes move in. The Spider-Men web up a monster, while Deadpool empties a clip into another. In spite of the valiant efforts of the heroes, they've got a problem. Another wave of monsters moves in from behind, and Sam realizes this was all a trap. They've just been flanked. Ms. Marvel says now would be a good time for a rousing speech, but Sam Wilson can only stare on in silence. Hello and welcome to Comic Island. My name is Arden, and this is my recap and review of Monsters Unleashed number 2. Well, we are 2 issues into this thing and I'm just loving it. There's a lot of fun to be had with these comics, assisted by gorgeous art and some great writing. Cullen Bunn knows exactly what this story is. It's not some deep masterpiece, it's a fun adventure with monsters. And he takes advantage of that premise to cut loose. So it's great, we get Sam Wilson being a real Captain America, Thor being Thor, and even the 2 Spider-Men actually working together. Those 2 haven't really talked even in ages, so that's something. It's still baffling to me that such an opportunity was passed on during Civil War II, but what was wasted there is not here, and we at least get them doing stuff together, so that's nice. In fact, that's kind of the best thing about Monsters Unleashed. It's a pleasant jump from Marvel's usual nonsense into exactly what I kind of feel they should have been doing all along. Heroes being heroes doing superhero things. Actually using the latest batch of Avengers doing Avengers things instead of whatever they're usually up to, fighting each other I guess, really does a lot to set them up as more iconic characters than anything else Marvel has done recently. I know a lot of people have been down on replacing Captain America, Thor, and Iron Man, but a big problem of that stuff is that they don't have them doing iconic stuff like they do here. Seeing them doing these awesome things in a united, coherent world really helps cement them as new heroes, and I just wish they had done it earlier instead of so late in the game. There's other great things to talk about in this issue too. I like how there's some focus on Elsa Bloodstone and Devil Dinosaur, while also keeping the heroes battling monsters as the first major focus of the story here, as it should be. It's cool having the Guardians of the Galaxy being a focal point of this comic, as they're always a fun addition to this mix too. The story is a little cluttered given the sheer number of characters and heroes involved here, but it mostly serves up as a wonderful celebration of all things currently Marvel while fighting giant monsters, and it's hard not to just join in on the fun. This comic's like a party. You can either go along with it and have a good time, or not, and I prefer the former. This issue, this time penciled by Greg Land, while Leaston and Curio return on inks and colors respectively, has some great art too. Their efforts lead to panels that feel vivid and big while also nailing facial expressions. Almost every panel is not only good, but pops out and conveys beats of the story clearly, or just really leave an impact with their shading and design. It's some really great stuff. Monsters Unleashed might be worth your time for the art alone. So this comic gets a happy recommendation from me, even though there is the one problem that is still bothering me. Something like this is good, great even, and I'd say it might be on track to be one of the best modern Marvel events to date. Yet I still feel less excited than I think I should be. I believe it's that event fatigue I was talking about in my review for last issue. After all the events, I and a lot of you guys seem to be a little tapped out on big crossovers at the moment. Something like this, which should be blowing my mind, feels almost mundane given how many big fights I've seen in the last few months. It's hard to fault Monsters Unleashed for being published when it was published, but it's definitely easy to throw some blame Marvel's way. If the story fails to stick in people's memories down the road or just doesn't sell that much in the short term, well, they only have themselves to blame for their own terrible behavior. They've hit that major crossover event button so hard and so often in the last few years that it feels like an event like this, which pretty much has done everything right, might tragically be a little too late for a lot of people. I fear a lot of fans might very well pass over this one for that reason, and as I said last review, can you really blame them? Let me know what you guys think in the comments section below. Also, check out our Patreon page. Supporters help us produce content and have a say in the videos we review. Finally, don't forget to like, subscribe, and keep reading comics.